and a very warm welcome to all of you. So, in today's session, we are going to have a discussion about idioms and phrases. Now, let's first understand what are idioms and phrases. So, basically, idioms and phrases, if I say in English, when we say idioms and phrases, right? So, there's one thing which will always come in your mind, that there are a group of words that will always have a different meaning, right? Something which will have a figurative meaning that cannot be understood from the individual words that make them up. For example, if I say kick the bucket is an idiom which means to die, right? So just a minute. Okay. So if I say kick the bucket, so what does this idiom mean? This actually means to die, right? Whereas phrases, they will always have a literal meaning. The cat sat on the mat is a phrase that has a literal meaning. But somewhere, if I say a piece of cake, it is a metaphorical expression, you see. So, metaphorical expression means something which is easy to do. Again, under the weather is again a phrase, right? Which means feeling slightly ill. Spill the beans, a transparent idiom where the literal word meaning directly maps on the idiomatic meanings. So that's why they are known as idioms and phrases together. Okay. Now, let's come to a point uh, where we have to accept that when we answer questions of any level, whether it be any exam, any competitive exam, if I say. So in any of the competitive exam, you see, you will always get some of the questions. At least 2 to 3 questions will always be from idioms and phrases. Now, why am I specifying this? Because these questions are very scoring questions. You just, all you need is a practice, good practice, and the more you practice, the better you become. So, with the help of practice, you can actually answer such questions very easily, very nicely, and within at least 4 to 5 seconds, I can say. You read the question, and the moment you read your question, you get to the answer with the help of looking at the options given over there. Okay, so they are very scoring, they are not very engaging, they don't need a logical analysis, they will never ask for your time more than not more than 5 to 10 seconds. That is why doing idioms and phrases will always be, you will always be on a beneficial side if you prepare for idioms and phrases. Now, many of you must be thinking that these are not important, and many students, there is always a group of students who always thinks that idioms and phrases are very easy to do, but actually you have to remember, recall, keep on practicing, and you have to relate to the idioms and phrases so that you remember the meaning of it at the time of the examination. So they are very scoring, and that is why they are of utmost importance. Okay, so we should not ignore this topic. Many of you might be ignoring this topic, but I would suggest never ignore this topic. Okay, so let's begin with idioms and phrases. And on an introductory note, I would like to tell you that idioms and phrases are basically the English idiomatic expression which gives some underlying ideas, principles, and values of a given culture or society, right? Okay, let's solve some of the questions so that you can relate to it, you can practice, and we'll come across. And these are some of the idioms and phrases which are very, very exam oriented. Okay, these are usually asked in different kind of exams. Okay, so the direction here is, in each of the following questions, an idiomatic phrase is given in bold, followed by 4 alternatives. Choose the alternative that best expresses the meaning of the expression. Okay. So the first question says, both the parties had chances to break the deadlock. You see, the highlighted part is the deadlock. So deadlock inside the first 20 minutes. So what is the meaning of the deadlock here? You have to relate this uh, idiom or phrase with the meaning of the sentence given also, right? So open the lock of the door, silence, a position where no progress can be made, come to conclusion once for all. So definitely the answer will not be open the lock of the door, because we are not talking about anything being locked or open or anything which has to be open, right? So deadlock doesn't associate with this meaning. Both the parties had chances to break the deadlock. We are talking about breaking the deadlock, right? So inside the first 20 minutes, so breaking the silence, how do you break the silence? You are actually silent, so there's no way that you're breaking the silence, right? So this is incorrect again. A position where no progress can be made, yes, this is somewhat relevant and somewhat relatable. So breaking the deadlock basically means a position where no progress is made. Okay, so this is the correct answer to the following question. Next question. The attempt to suppress the agitation of the union only added fuel to the flame. So what does this mean? Added fuel to the flame. To lit the candle, to calm the situation, brought ray of hope, to make matter worse. So the correct answer here would be adding fuel to the flame, right? Very easy to identify. To make matter worse. Next. There was a robbery in our neighbor's factory last night, and when I entered their factory to inquire, everything was at 6 and 7. 6s and 7. So 6s and 7 here means in disorder, perfectly placed, very expensive, toned off. So when there's a robbery done in some place, right? And you enter that place, how do you find that place? You find that place in disorder or perfectly placed, or you find it expensive, or you find it toned off. Definitely you find that nothing is in order. There's full chaos in that area. Okay, so in disorder, 6s and 7s here means in disorder. I don't like to talk to those who are always blowing their own trumpet. So you see, blowing your own trumpet can mean what? You have to use your brain also when you're reading any question. Definitely, you have to try to associate to the meaning and the sentence which is given. And when you, like, try to actually analyze, you by reading the question only, you will more so you will understand that this is the answer which is actually making some sense. Talking rubbish, loquacious, to praise oneself, or spreading rumors. Definitely, someone is blowing their own trumpet, means they are praising themselves. He broke the news of her brother's death very gently so as to lessen the intensity of the shock. To hide the news, to disclose very late, to give good news, to give bad news. Obviously, death is a very bad news, and you cannot hide it. You don't disclose it because it's not a surprise that you're going to disclose, and definitely it's not a good news. So the only thing is, broke the news means to give bad news. You should always come to the point and should not beat about the bush. The term beat about the bush means to talk politely, to talk in a roundabout manner, to talk straightforwardly, to talk suspiciously. Now, what will be the correct answer to the following question here? To beat about the bush, you should always come to the point and should not beat about the bush. So you should not, basically, this is saying you should not do this. You should not talk politely, you should not talk in a roundabout manner, you should talk straightforwardly or talk suspiciously. Definitely you should not talk in a roundabout manner. My friend is good at building castles in the air. So anyone who is building castles in the air is basically doing what? Talking senseless, to be an extraordinary, being extraordinary, to make visionary or imaginary schemes, or good at discoveries. Definitely they are making visionary schemes. Next question. She is recovering by and by after long illness. So by and by means what? Someone is recovering frequently, rarely, rapidly, or gradually. So when you have some sort of disease, right? So how do you recover? How do you want to recover? You want to recover in a better way. Like, it's not that suddenly you want to be recovered and then again you want to fall sick. So rapidly is a term which will actually incline your meaning towards this. But rapidly, anything happening rapidly will always have a repercussion, right? So not rapidly, gradually, slowly, day by day, getting better. So gradually is the correct answer here. I don't know how they are living together as they are leading a cat and dog life. So, what is the meaning of the term cat and dog life? So, the meaning of the term of cat and dog life, like full of quarrels, full of pleasures, interesting life, adventurous life. Definitely, when cat and dog they fight, how do they fight? They kind of quarrel, right? So, correct answer is life full of quarrels. He started to tell some cock and bull story to the police officers about how he found a large bag containing 5 pounds of cocaine packets. So here you see it says vague story, started telling vague story, made up story that one should not believe, interesting story, mysterious. Definitely cocaine is involved in the sentence, so it is definitely neither a mysterious one nor an interesting one. You can say vague story, but you're actually trying to cook up, you're actually trying to make something up to get rid of the problem which you are into. So the correct answer here would be made up story that one should not believe. The hope of winning the lottery amounting to 1 crore rupees is simply crying for the moon. What is the meaning of the term crying for the moon? Idiom crying for the moon. Thing that is rare in the market, very expensive gift to go to moon to wish for something impossible. So if there's a baby, there's a infant who's crying for the moon, who's wanting to have moon, right? Want to hold the moon. Definitely they are wishing for something which is extremely impossible, isn't it? Answer sort. Next question. The next question says, she often gets angry when someone calls a spade a spade. So when someone speaks plainly, abruptly, play cards or talk rudely, definitely you will not get angry if someone is talking rudely, right? That's not making sense. You don't play cards, you don't speak abruptly, you actually speak straightforward. Plainly means without no filter, without any filter, no filter used. So someone, when someone speaks without filter, there are some people who gets angry. So this is the meaning of the statement here. Next, careless boys often have to cry over spilt milk during the exams. So cry over spilt means what? Burden, anxiety, repent or records. Definitely you are crying, you are regretting. You are regretting, right? During exams that you should have studied and you could have answered the question. So basically you're not feeling burdened or anxious, you are actually repenting. Next, a good teacher follows the carrot and stick policy towards her students. So what does carrot and stick policy means? Carrot and stick policy means detailed explanation, practical knowledge, interactive session, reward punishment. So a good teacher will always try and give students a session which they remember. So carrot and stick policy here means interactive session, having a very interactive session. Okay, take some woolen clothes, they may come in handy in Missouri. Come in handy in Missouri. Available, to be useful, dry cleaned or bought. Definitely you want some kind of clothes which will be helpful for you in Missouri. So in Missouri the kind of clothes which you will have will come in handy, so it will be useful. You want some useful clothes, right? People in some remote areas are so poor that their sufferings are more than a flesh and blood can endure. Non-vegetarian, it means non-vegetarian. Barbaric scene, human nature, or not worthy. So here you see flesh and blood is related to human, someone who has both in their body. So humans are, human nature you can say is the correct answer and appropriate, which is serving the purpose here. He's the son of a famous actor, but he is not fit to hold a candle to his father. He is not fit to support his father, helpful his father, unmatched his father, equal in quality as his father. Definitely, we are comparing the son and the actor here. So, we are trying to say what? They are not equal. They are not equal. They do not have same talent. So, that's the answer, equal in quality. So, we are saying they are not equal in quality. As the loyal employee of his company, he gave a good account of himself when calamity befell the company. Not responsible, to deny the fact, to accept the truth, to act creditably. So here the meaning is basically gave a good account of himself. So to be believable, to behave believingly. So you're doing what? Acting creditably. Okay, now question number 19 says Rohan's case is very weak, and everybody knows that finally he will lose, but he's still hoping against hope. So Rohan is doing what? Rohan is hopeless, or to cry for impossible thing, hope in spite of disappointment, to give up. Definitely he is hoping against hope. He is trying to have hope in spite of disappointment. He knows he'll be disappointed, still he is having some hopes left, right? This will be the correct answer to the following idiom. Okay, moving on to the next question. The question here is, the question says, it is a Herculean task to root out corruption in India, which means very difficult, very easy, mystical, or interesting. Definitely, the meaning of the word Herculean task, we have studied this since childhood. Even in school, you must have came across this word, or you must have used it multiple times, and this means very difficult. The days we spend in our school life are the halcyon days of our life. So, what kind of days is it? Meaningful, miraculous, melodious, or a very peaceful day? Definitely, school life was the most enjoyable time of one's life, is the most enjoyable time of one's life, right? And hence, if I say enjoyable, it means when you enjoy, you are always at peace. So, the correct answer would be peaceful days. Peaceful days, okay? Next, Rahul is fickle minded and has too many irons in the fire. Has too many irons in the fire, which means get angry easily, become anxious easily, very easy, or doing many things at a time. Definitely, Rahul is fickle minded and has too many irons in the fire, means doing many things at a time. Next, an employee is often ill at ease when he has to see the manager after he has done something wrong. So, ill at ease here means not well, calm and composed, angry, or uncomfortable. So, ill at ease means an employee is often uncomfortable when he has to see the manager after he has done something wrong. Everyone gets uncomfortable at such situation, right? Moving on to the next. After he lost the final match, he is in doldrums these days. So, what is the meaning of the term doldrums? Doldrums here means unhappy, to be depressed, limelight, not socializing with anyone. Definitely after he lost. So, when you lose something, you always go get what? You always become depressed, you become sad. Those who talk of non-violence as a useful tool in international politics live in ivory tower. So, what is the meaning here? Imaginary world, top of the world, confusing world, relaxing world, right? Those who talk of non-violence as a useful tool in international politics are living in imaginary world, because international is related to world, world is related to obviously world will have non talking non-violence in the world, definitely is like you're imagining something, because that's something very that is something which is impossible, isn't it? Okay. You must not evaluate the success of your enemies with a jaundiced eye, with a defected eye, with an egoistic eye, prejudiced eye, or disease eye. So jaundice is a kind of disease, but do we mean disease directly here? No. We are talking about jaundiced eye, which means having prejudice towards someone. These days, because of inflation, it is difficult to keep body and soul together. Body and soul together. What does it mean? To maintain life? It is difficult to maintain life due to inflation, due to a rising price of everything. It is difficult to maintain life, unbalanced. It is difficult to be calm. It is difficult to be happy. Definitely, it is difficult to maintain life. Hypocrites should always be kept at arm's length. To be in touch, to keep at a distance, to be closer, not so far. Definitely to keep at a distance, right? You must not leap in the dark by entering the business without proper market survey. So, what does it mean? Unnecessarily by entering, it's a bulai by entering, to take a long jump, to take a risk deliberately. Definitely, when you enter a business without proper market survey, you are kind of taking a risk deliberately, knowingly you are taking a risk. Priya has at last let the cat out of the bag by confessing that she has stolen her brother's money. So, when someone makes a confession, it is a kind of what? You're coming out, you're disclosing something, you're opening up, you're sharpening up. Definitely, you're disclosing something. Second World War proved to be the last nail in the coffin for many countries. Last nail in the coffin for many countries, causing ruin, dead, last option, no alternative. Definitely, it caused a very heavy amount, right? Not financially, but physically, mentally, in every way. In comparison to India, China has progressed by leaps and bounds in every field. Leaps and bounds here means what? Rapidly, oftenly, continuously, slowly. Definitely, meaning is rapidly. Students should make the host of their time if they want to get an admission in the top B school, to while time, to utilize time, to enjoy, or to study. What do you think is the correct answer here? Question number 33. Definitely, make the most of your time means to utilize your time, right? Rakesh moved heaven and earth to gain his end but failed. Try hardly, hustle bustle, to try almost, anxious. So, question number 34. Moving heaven and earth means basically trying everything out. Tipu Sultan met his Waterloo in the fourth battle of Mysore. Win the battle, name of a place, to face final defeat, a water tank. So the correct answer here would be in question number 35, to face final defeat. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was a man of letters, a man of his words, truthful person, introvert person, literary person. So, question number 36 say a man of letters. So, what kind of person you today can imagine B.R. Ambedkar would be? B.R. Ambedkar sir would be a literary person, a person who's quite learned, right? The laws made by British and India are not yet null and void, not yet vague, ineffective, effective, implemented, not yet what? Not yet ineffective, right? It is still effective. Reading novels is not my cup of tea. Of my category, someone else's belonging, to one's liking, prefer cup of coffee to cup of tea. So here it means you don't like something, right? Reading novels is not your liking. So Mohit is on the carpet these days for troubling her teacher. Decorative material to be looked down upon, to be under consideration, to hardly bother. Definitely is on the carpet, is under consideration. Every man living in this world must regard himself as part and parcel of a larger whole. Part and parcel, a gift, an important tiny unit, inseparable part. Definitely, you are always a part of the world. So it means you are inseparable. My cousin is frugal and saves even out of pin money. Pin money means reward, allowance given to housewife for personal use, pocket money to the son, pension money. Definitely, this work is always done by housewives. So your cousin must be a housewife who's frugal, who is who spends very less, and that is why they saves even out of pin money. Okay, pin money means allowance given to housewife for personal use. You must always consider the pros and cons of any new project that you take in hand. For and against a thing, all aspects, positive views or controversial views. Definitely for and against a thing. Pros and cons, for and against. Very easy, right? You must be using it. Red tapeism is a bane of Indian bureaucracy. So what is red tapeism here? Red tapeism means what? Form of corruption, bribery, dishonesty, official delay. Definitely Indian, we are talking bureaucracy, official delay. The demand of inquiry into his work is just a red herring, as there is no truth in it. So what is the term red herring? Idiom red herring is here means. Red herring means something to distract attention, rumor, serious matter, routine process. The demand of inquiry into his work is just something to distract attention, as there is no truth in it. The mother shed crocodile tears. Shedding crocodile tears, we all know this, on the death of her stepson. Deeply hurt, got unconscious to show false sorrow out of senses. Definitely to show false sorrow. Continuous interrogation finally made the uncle spill the beans, and the disaster was averted. So, spilling the beans means to give information, hide something, signing of important documents, accepting the crime. So, the correct answer would be to give information, spilling the beans, telling everything. All the team members turn a deaf ear to their manager, showing disrespect. Hmm. Showing disrespect, not to pay attention, very attentive, astonished expression. So, when you turn a deaf ear, you are actually not paying attention to what the other person is saying. The problem of holding exams on time is an uphill task for the VC of ABC University. Easy task, climbing the hill, raising standard. Difficult task. So the correct answer is option number D, difficult task. When the parents of Rohan did not agree to the marriage of their son, he married Rashmi under the rose. He married Rashmi secretly, openly, unethically, forcefully. Definitely secretly. He made a wry face when he was not allowed to go to abroad for further studies. He made a disappointed face. He made an angry look, sarcastic looks, expressionless. Definitely, he made a disappointed look. Right. So let's quickly just see what questions we discuss here, and what are the meanings attached to it as per the revision session, so that when we come across idioms like these, we always know the meaning and the answers to it. To break the deadlock, a position where no progress can be made. Added fuel to the flame means to make matter worse. Sixes and sevens in disorder. Blowing their own trumpet means to praise oneself. Broke the news means to give bad news. Beat about the bush means to talk in a roundabout manner. My friend, building castles in the air to make visionary schemes. By and by means gradually. A cat and dog life means life full of quarrels. Cock and bull story means making up the story that one should not believe. Crying for the moon means to wish for something impossible. Calls a spade means to speak plainly. To cry over spilt milk means to repent or regret. Carrot and stick policy, interactive session. To come in handy means to be useful. Flesh and blood here means human nature. Fit to hold a candle to means equal in quality. Have a good account of himself means to act creditably. Hoping against hope means hope in spite of disappointment. Herculean task means very difficult. Halcyon days means enjoyable, peaceful days. Has too many irons in the fire means doing many things at a time. Ill at ease means uncomfortable. In doldrums to be depressed. Ivory tower, imaginary world. Jaundice eye, prejudice. To keep body and soul together to maintain life. Keep at arm's length means to keep at a distance. Leap in the dark means to take a risk deliberately. Let the cat out of the bag means to disclose. Last nail in the coffin, causing ruin. Leaps and bounds means rapidly. Make the most of to utilize time. Moved heaven and earth to try utmost. Met his Waterloo means to face final defeat. Man of letters means literary person. Null and void means ineffective. Cup of tea means to one's liking. On the carpet means to be under consideration. Part and parcel means inseparable part. Pin money means allowance given to housewife for personal use. Pros and cons means for and against a thing. Red tapeism means official delay. Red herring means something to distract attention. Shed crocodile tears means to show false sorrow. Spill the means to give information. Turned a deaf ear means not to pay attention. Uphill task means difficult task. Under the rose means secretly. Wry face here means disappointed look. Now you see. So today we have discussed some 50 questions of idioms and phrases. Now these 50 questions were quite easy ones, which you generally must have used in your daily life, or maybe you must be using it, or you might know the meaning of it, right? So we have to upgrade the levels one after the another. We will try and solve some questions which are medium level, and also questions which are difficult level, right? So there are competitive exams which are taken in these patterns as well. Some exams always ask easy questions, like the eligibility criteria is also low. So the more the eligibility criteria is, the higher the level of the exam, right? And definitely difficult. There are exams which actually ask difficult level questions. So you have to prepare for all the kinds of pattern, all the levels which is given. So in today's session we have discussed some 50 questions, and in this 50 questions we have tried to cover all the easy asked questions which are exam oriented. I'm sure you will always remember the meaning of it. All you need is regular practice, okay? Regular practice and some more preparation, some revision, and you're good to go with these idioms and phrases. Also, communication is the key. You have to communicate, and you have to